Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Scott.
I'm Rim.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, Cooking Master Boy and Chrome-Shelled Regios. Let's do this.
Today was a good day. I worked from home, so my commute was like 0 seconds.
My commute was also 0 seconds.
Well, then we're both doing very well for ourselves.
No, not really. I'm doing, in fact, 0. Well, I'm doing stuff that, just not stuff that's making a lot of money or any money.
You're making money.
What money am I making?
By driving me to the Kaibo, you made a Kaibo sandwich worth of money.
I guess that's still much, much less than I would make even at McDonald's.
Oh, well.
Yeah, still day 2 of no job. And, even though Rim was home today, which is not going to be a very common thing, it was sort of strange and coincidental that, in fact, the week that you had the one day at home was also, the week I lost my job,
yeah.
The second day of losing the job, I guess.
Yeah, I got too used to it, though. I don't want to go back to work tomorrow.
I know, right? I don't have to go back to work tomorrow, but at the same time, it's not so good.
At least there's that relief of if you had a long-running project on some bad code and you know that you never have to worry about it again.
I know. It's weird. It's like a great weight has been, it's like The Simpsons, right? Remove the stone of whatever it was, right? The stone cutters episode.
Yep.
And Homer's like, whew, and like that great stone has been lifted. They're like, attach the stone of something else, and a much bigger stone. So it's like, yes, I never have to look at that fucking code again. Yes. Oh, I have no money. Fuck.
You got money.
Fuck. Anyway. And while I am spending my time, I've actually done a lot of job hunting and such, and I made a dent. I've been super productive, and except, I'm about going to clean the kitchen and the bathroom and getting so much shit done. I even got a dentist appointment tomorrow, and I'm going to see some guy in the city on...
well, let's save that.
On Friday, yeah. Well, I'll talk about that after it happens, because it's bound to be hilarious.
Yeah.
But... at the same time, it's sitting at home all day alone is not so great. Even sitting in the office doing nothing is at least there's people there.
Well, you could go out, go to like a Starbucks.
Yeah, but you can only do that like once a day. You can't do that. Oh, you mean now that I'm unemployed?
Yeah, just like go to Starbucks or go to like Borders and then laptop it all day.
I guess I could.
It's like being in the office except no one's going to ask you to do anything.
Yeah, it's just a little bit far away, and it's not... I can get a lot more work done with my desktop and my laptop. Just the laptop, I can't get as much work done.
Bring the desktop and film it.
I could, but people have done that already. It's not really my gig. Anyway. So, I said, hey, I need to get some, so I started using Suffice to Say and Twitter some more. I stopped using it for a long time, but now I'm kind of using it again. Also because, I'm just trying to do things to strengthen my network and strengthen the community, because that helps get a job,
well,
among other things.
The things that this community needs more so now.
Because even if that doesn't, get me a job, or help me get a job, which it could, right? It can't hurt, that's for sure. It'll really help if my attempt at self-employment, the bigger and stronger community I have is like a bigger head start on that, especially if I'm in the business of making websites, I can get sort of more people to use the website right away. And if I can get that starting critical mass that'll explode all over the webs, if my site is actually good and useful and people like it, So I've been doing that. So I said, hey, I got this webcam I never used, and I turned on the Ustream, and basically, I just Ustreamed all day. And
observation 1, a lot of our listeners did not seem to realize that I pretty much never wear pants, ever.
Yeah.
You've learned something.
But Rim's good. It was just weird that I happened to do it on the day when Rim was also home. I can't even think about the fact that he was home today when I did it.
Well, I was working.
Yeah, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna Ustream my brains out. The bandwidth was totally cool, so I'm just gonna Ustream like crazy. Not constantly, right? I turn it off right now for the show because it doesn't work so well with the laptop. I'm surprised it didn't work so well in Ubuntu. That's kind of sad. The video worked, but not the audio, which is really strange. but it works downstairs in the living room on the Mac. It works in my bedroom, right? So I'm just going to Ustream and have a little unemployment day counter up there,
So
today was day 2, tomorrow will be day 3. I'm not going to do it when I'm
there watching us watch some bad anime that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. And actually, as a side effect, Ustream creates an IRC channel for every show. So even when we're not streaming, I guess we have an IRC channel now, which I guess is there. And I mean, I don't know how to close the IRC channel if that's such a thing is possible. But, so the video will be on and off depending on what I'm doing. I'll try to keep it on most of the day when I'm sitting at the computer or whatever. I'm not always looking at it or paying attention to the chat, but, I'll have it on. It doesn't hurt. And I'm going to Ustream it up until I get a job. And, maybe something will happen. Maybe it'll go somewhere, maybe someone will give me a job. Maybe it'll get some publicity like, guy goes on Ustream marathon to get job in bad economy or something like that. Or maybe it becomes a telethon and people start sending me money so I don't have to work. It could be like, the Scott tries to become self-employed Ustream telethon. Everyone send Scott money. Watch him work on this new website. And if we send him enough, the website will come to be. And then Scott will be self-employed and everyone will have a great new website to waste their time on. And
anyway,
we'll see where this goes. But all you have to know is that I'm Ustreaming and you can watch my Ustream and join the IRC channel.
But more importantly, and this was actually in place before Scott decided to, or became, whether or not he decided or not, unemployed. But April 1st, we've got some fun things planned for you guys.
Yes, it is not. Everyone, this is obvious, right? April 1st is April Fool's Day. We're not doing a stupid April Fool's.
You're not going to, go into this live episode and hear any sort of rickroll.
No, because, I mean, you hear us listen to the old April Fool's Day shows, right? We were always like, the internet was useless today. There were all these obviously fake things. It's only good on April Fool's Day if you're actually fooling someone, the way that Fark and Board Game Geek fooled people, right? Slashdot with their fake news stories is not fooling anyone, right? So it's totally lame and we hate it. And we're telling you straight up in advance, we're doing this streaming live Geeknights on April 1st, probably sometime in, between, I guess, 5 and 9, or who knows what, maybe around 7-ish Eastern time, right? So if we do try to fool you, you'll see it coming a mile away. So either A, it's a fool worthy of April Fool's Day, B, we're not fooling anyone, which is, I can tell you right away, we're not fooling anyone.
I think you're building up way too much for this.
I just want to let people know because they're very suspicious. Or C, it's going to be really lame and we're going to fool you stupidly. But we won't do that.
If they wanted to know the rationale, we were thinking, all right, we're going to have all this stuff together. We're going to do something cool. Let's do it at the beginning of next month. Like, okay. And it happened to be March.
Yep.
There you go.
So, anyway, we got... so on April 1st, we're going to do a cool streaming live Geeknights. It's going to be an Ask Grim and Scott type of thing for at least a portion of it. And we're going to use Twitter and Suffice to Say and the Ustream chat and whatever other communication means we've got going on to ask us questions, which we will answer live with video. And then we'll probably record it and put the episode up on the following day. All right. News time.
But it's anime, manga, comics night, as you all know, and there's actually, for once, a lot of interesting anime news. Now, I want to bring this up first because usually I ignore these sorts of things, but for someone who's an anime fan, if you don't really know what's going on in Japan, or you watch anime, but you don't really connect what you're watching and what's popular here with what is popular among normal Japanese people. So I'm looking at a recent listing of, across all of television, what anime are actually popular in Japan? What are the most watched shows right now?
It's not Naruto.
No, it's not Naruto.
That's for sure.
Number 1 is the obvious, as always, Sazai-san.
It's Sazai-san. People don't know this. Sazai-san is basically The Simpsons in Japan.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, so that's, you don't see it talked about a lot in the anime community because it's not a nerdy anime show. It doesn't look like a nerdy anime show, but it is an animated show in Japan with a bajillion episodes that is like The Simpsons of Japan, and that it's the number 1 show.
Yep, number 2 is Chibi Maruko-chan, which is pretty much another Simpsons-y show. It's another just popular, generic, everyone watches a show. And then the old Crayon Shinchan.
Yep, another wide mass appeal show of humor that is not in a typical anime visual style.
Yep. Right next, of course, Doraemon.
Yep, it's like Sesame Street, right? So all the children's watching that one.
And then Anime 7. Now, that is basically Detective Conan and Yatterman.
Oh, so in other words, like, so you've got Doraemon, which is basically like for the Barney crowd, and then you've got Anime 7 for the middle school, elementary school, later on crowd, like, the sort of not yet teenage boys.
And then Gegege no Kitaro.
So the elementary school boys again.
Yep. Thing is, I much prefer Hakaba, but this is what people are watching in Japan.
Yeah, well, Gegege is for the kiddies, and Hakaba is for, serious.
Yeah, you can tell because Hakaba is where the cat girl is scary and it doesn't end happily. Gegege, the cat girl, is just a cute girl who can turn into a cat.
Yep.
And then, finally, One Piece, what people would actually recognize.
There you go. No, but again, who's watching that? All the kiddies.
Yeah. Of course, note One
What's
Piece,
the highest otaku show?
The highest otaku show is right after that. Fresh, free, cure. It looks like girls fighting. I can't tell.
Oh, it's okay. So then it's some show that's on late at night that's on m.o.v.e.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I don't even know if it's on late at night. But then after that is some baseball show.
All right.
And then Pokemon.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Pokemon, that's pretty low for Pokemon.
Yeah, well, Pokemon's old.
Yeah.
Real old.
Speaking of Pokemon, just real quick, right? Pokemon Platinum just came out. And Pokemon Platinum is basically the same thing. They seem to have this pattern, right? Where there'll be a new Pokemon game, right? So they'll put out two colors, Diamond, Pearl, Red, Blue, right? Gold, Silver. And then a little while later, they'll put out a third one. So this Platinum is basically the same as Diamond and Pearl, but it has like a bunch of improvements. It's not actually a new game, but it's got like a little bit better animations.
Wait. Improvements like what? Like I don't have to level up all my Pokemon?
Well, no. It's first of all, right, this is what I've heard. This is what I know from people of talking, right?
Or Pokemans, as it's correctly
The
pronounced.
battle text is faster.
Oh my god.
There's better animations on the moves that the Pokemon do. There's a few new dungeons, that sort of thing. All right? So I realized what I'm going to do is the next time there's a new Pokemon series, there's going to be two colors. I'm going to skip those. Because I can't buy the Platinum now. I already have Diamond.
Yeah, you're not
Buying
going to play it
Platinum would be
again.
stupid. Right. But if I would have waited and not gotten Diamond and just gotten Platinum, I would have been so much better off. So next time, when the two colors come out, I'm going to skip it. And when the third one comes out that improves upon the two colors, I'll get that one. And that's the Pokemon plan from Scott.
That is a brilliant plan, and I stand behind it 100%.
Yeah? So you're going to follow the same plan?
Though, well, I don't know. I think I'm done with Pokemon.
Pokemon. Okay.
I played halfway through the original, and I watched Ash.
Well, you're going to read Pokemon Adventures, right?
Yeah, well,
That was my news
I
last time.
already read Pokemon Adventures all the way up through Yellow.
Yellow Caballero.
He's okay, but he's no red.
He's no red.
Giovanni. Oh, my God.
All right.
Oh, my God, Pokemon. Anyway, so
Pokemon.
more sad is that, well, it's good for us as anime fans, but it's terrible for us as gaming fans. But you might all remember Professor Layton. They made it was this game, it was a puzzle game on the DS, and it was very anime-y and very stylish in the like Ghibli-esque fashion. It's not Ghibli, but it's Ghibli-esque in that kind of like wholesome, fun.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, like the style was good. Like Lupin the Third, Castle of Cagliostro, that style of, there's an adventure, let's go, with the awesome characters. And if you like that sort of thing, you'd like this game, even if you don't like puzzle games, because it's also got all that style and all these little movies and story in it. And people in America kind of forgot about that game because...
Man, I got that game. I liked it. I've still been waiting because there's like 3 or 4 of them in Japan, and I'm waiting.
Here's the deal. In America, they released Layton. Nintendo marketed the ever-living fuck out of it.
They had people on Segways driving around demos of it in the Katsukan dealer's room. That's how hard they were pushing it.
Also in the street around Katsukan, and they built this giant interactive floor projector thing to demo it, and oh my god, it was everywhere. They were spending tons of money on marketing, and they never released Layton 2.
Not yet, anyway.
Or Layton 3.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
They released them in Japan, but not in the U.S. yet.
I don't think they did well in the U.S. I don't think they recouped the money they spent on marketing. I think they expected that the marketing effort would turn into this sort of like cult amazing game that everyone played. And now it just disappeared.
I want it. I liked it. I bought it.
Because that wasn't the most recent Katsucon.
Don't release it now, though. I have no money.
That was a Katsucon ago.
Yeah?
That was back when we had the, where we were running stuff. Of course, we're doing stuff again at the next Katsucon. We may or may not be heading up a new department, but we'll talk about that.
We'll see about that.
That's all tentative. Katsucon's
That's
a long way away.
very, 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 very tentative.
Especially because PAX is offering more.
Well, they're not competing with each other.
They are to a degree. I don't think I can manage the same thing for multiple conventions.
Well, you just do the same thing twice. Or 3 times,
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, but
it'd be hard to manage 3 different things for 3 different conventions.
If you play Layton, all you can think is, man, this would make a great anime. So they're making Layton Kyoju to Eien no Utahime, Professor Layton and the Eternal Songstress.
Mm-hmm.
The film is going to begin in Japan in 2010. The film is going to be out. I can assure you we will review it post-haste, and then we'll go see it in the theater.
In the U.S. in the theater?
Well, once it comes to the U.S.
It's going to be in the U.S. in the theater?
Eventually.
Oh, man.
All big anime movies are in the U.S. in the theater in New York City.
Oh, I was expecting to get a fan sub.
Well, we're going to watch the fan stuff first like we always do.
Okay, anyway.
I'm really looking forward to this because the cutscenes alone in that game were so hot.
Yeah, this could be a good movie. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm feeling like it'll feel like Cagliostro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one of my favorite movies ever, anime or not, and I don't know, this has that kind of vibe.
Yep.
But speaking of movies that are getting an official American release, Ponyo, we talked about it, we reviewed it, we watched a pretty good cam cap that Emily's mom acquired, of all people, but it's actually going to be in U.S. theaters in a somewhat wide release in August. Disney picked it up.
As they do for every Miyazaki movie.
Yep. So
Studio Ghibli movie.
Miyazaki and Lasseter are going to be the executive producers. They're doing it the same way they do for every Miyazaki movie. So
really? Shocker.
In August, I think August 14th, it's going to open in a bunch of American theaters. Go see it.
Man, they might have a pre-showing at Otakon. I don't know. I just made that up just now. But
did you?
Otakon is in late July this year?
Yeah. Didn't I?
August 14th release? Come on. Otakon always has the pre-release movies. I can pretty much, I have no information that confirms this whatsoever. I just thought of this just
Here's
now.
Here's the closest I have. I emailed a bunch of Otakon staff way back.
But I would bet that they will show Ponyo at Otakon.
Ponyo?
I will bet monies.
Is so...
And you know what? I'm an unemployed person. I will bet on that.
I'll bet you $1,000 they don't.
You were going to bet they don't show it at Otakon?
Will you put up $1,000?
I would if I wasn't unemployed.
Oh, there we go.
I'll bet, but not that much. I'm a little...
All right, how about 900?
You're not going far enough away.
1,500.
No.
I don't know how to handle.
No.
But Ponyo is so worth seeing in the theater. This movie is beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely felt like there was a lot of the movie that we sort of missed out because it wasn't in, with the bright colors so much on the video we had.
It's a great movie, and I like it.
It's pretty good.
I got more anime news if you don't have it.
No, I got this great news I want to talk about.
All right,
it's a comics news.
Comics.
So, do you like
baseball?
Jeff Lemire?
Oh no. No, there's no way. What I'm thinking is that there's no way.
There's no way what?
Is there going to be a hockey comic?
No, it's a non-hockey comic.
I don't care anymore.
Well, he's got... you don't care anymore?
Wait, is he making a comic?
He's got 2 comics.
What?
So, for DC Vertigo coming out in June, he has a graphic novel called The Nobody that's coming out.
Ooh.
And after that, he's going to have an ongoing series called Sweet Tooth. Let me read you the description of Sweet Tooth.
Oh, no. I'm excited. I'm excited even though I said I wasn't because...
Sweet Tooth is the story
have to be
of
hockey.
Gus, a young boy born with deer-like antlers. He's lived his entire life in total isolation in the woods with his father. As our story begins, Gus is forced to leave the forest and sanctuary and begins experiencing the outside world for the first time. He finds out what he finds out there is beyond comprehension. An American landscape decimated a decade earlier by a mysterious disease. Even more remarkable is that Gus is part of a rare new breed of human-animal hybrid children who have emerged in his wake who are immune to the disease.
Huh.
And he's taken in by a drifter who promises to lead him to the Preserve, a fabled safe haven for hybrid children. Along the way, a larger mystery surrounds, yada, yada, yada. And that's what Jeff Lemire is up to.
I'm excited about that. Now, if you don't remember, we've talked about him a bunch before, but he did Ghost Stories, which was about people and their families at hockey in Canada. And it was amazing.
Yeah, the Essex County trilogy.
Yeah.
I have the third volume sitting there. I got to reread all 3 of the volumes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't read the third one yet. But
actually, I was checking out his blog. There's some good stuff going on here.
Oh, really?
He got pictures of his studio, which is right next to his washing machine.
He has a washing machine.
He's got like his
a job. Asshole.
All right, he's got his desk, right? And on the desk, he's got like this giant drawing pad, like angled up. Behind him, washer, dryer, gigantic scanner.
Man, that is like...
On the wall, X-Men poster.
He's got a job. It's not fair.
I'm looking forward to pretty much anything he does. He has done me no wrong yet in terms of media.
Yeah. But yeah, more exciting things. And the real interesting thing is that he was with Top Shelf. So he was doing the indie stuff. Now he's with Vertigo. That's like... He's in the pros. It's going from the minor leagues to the big leagues.
Yeah.
So, we were in on it. We were so cool. We were in on it before he was cool, Before
we met him. We didn't interview him, but we met him. And that pretty much went, hey, I like your comics.
So pay attention to what Geeknights comics we like, because what comics we like, because we were into the cool stuff before it, becomes popular. And then you can be the cool kid on the block who is cool before it was cool to be cool.
Well, actually, here's our secret. You want to be in on cool comics? Just come to New York and go to the m.o.v.e. festival every year.
Also, pre-order things, because then you get everything 2 months in advance.
Well, the problem is you'll get 100 bad things and 1 good thing.
You got to know what to buy. I mean, I don't get 100.
If you don't know what to buy, just go to the m.o.v.e. festival and just walk around, and it's obvious what to buy.
Yeah. All right.
So there's one more thing. I have to bring this up. We're not going to make it to Anime Central. I haven't actually been to Anime Central since 2003, I think.
Damn.
ASEN's the con where I used to throw, along with the Dub This crew back in the day, wicked parties in the presidential suite.
You threw what, 2 parties?
Yes, 2 years in a row. 2 epic parties. The second one ended with the hotel pulling the fire alarm to end our party. But haven't been to ASEN in a while, and I used to enjoy that con, but they've got a musical act that I kind of want to go to ASEN now. They have m.o.v.e. AVAX, Initial D.
I would go see that if I had money.
A concert? That would be great. I don't know what I can say. m.o.v.e. m.o.v.e. So if you're in the
if you're insert some m.o.v.e. music in the show.
If you're in the Chicago, Illinois area, you should go to Anime Central. As far as I remember, it's a pretty good con.
Illinois.
They actually had way back. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do Iron Artist, and they actually did it well.
Yeah, Anime Central is a very good convention, perhaps the best in the Midwest.
Well, because as I remember, unless they changed it, it's still a hotel con. And hotel cons have that special charm over convention center cons because they go all night.
All night.
All night long.
All right.
But anyway, it is time for the Mormon Jesus.
Mormon Jesus. Mormon Jesus. Mormon Jesus. Mormon Jesus. Long ago, a spirit child on one of these planets was conceived through an unidentified God. Is God is what he mellowed.
Talk about your Mormon Jesus.
These sorts of mashups are always good, and this one's actually pretty well done, so I can't... It sticks in your head. There's something about Mormon Jesus. Plus MC Hammer. Come on. I don't know what else I can say.
That's it.
The guy, if you watch the video, the guy in red really looks like he's dancing to this music. It really fits.
Speaking of MC Hammer, right? You know, I don't know if people realize just how popular MC Hammer was back in the day. But
MC Hammer is like
one of the so awesome.
MC Hammer is possibly one of the most important human beings to have ever lived.
Anyway, Hammer, you know, after he basically had a sort of a similar to Mike Tyson's story, only he wasn't a bad dude. He was a good dude. He just, you know, got famous, got a bunch of money, and lost all his money, right? Mike Tyson lost all his money because he was not a good person. MC Hammer lost all his money because he was not frugal. And he didn't keep track of his money very well. So after that, MC Hammer became like a preacher and such, right? But he still had his dancing skills and singing skills, right? And in recent years, MC Hammer's been making this comeback on the internets. He's got internet skills. He's on the Twitter, right? And he's doing all sorts of internet stuffs. So I was thinking, man, why doesn't MC Hammer just make a website where he teaches everyone how to fucking dance?
Oh, did he do that?
Actually, yes, he did. If you go to dancejam.com, there's just tons and tons of dancing videos, and this site is MC Hammer's site. He's involved with it, and you can go there and check out some dancing. And, you know, if you want to be all Napoleon Dynamite, if you visit this site enough and stay in your room alone with the door closed for hours on end,
Scott,
you'll come out like Napoleon Dynamite.
Scott, Ustream.
Yeah, turn on Ustream on one monitor and Dance Jam on the other monitor, and just keep going until you're MC Hammer.
Scott, I was saying you should do that. You got free time.
That's not going to happen. I have to make websites.
Can't do the hammer lean,
I'm not a dancer.
the hammer jump, the hammer shuffle, the hammer pants.
No.
You can do the hammer pants. Anyone can do the hammer pants.
Yes,
you
but
just have to put on hammer pants, and as long as they're too bad, if they're
with
not,
I've already spent 2 days here, right, and the website is still not done, so there's not going to be any dancing anytime soon.
You could dance while you're making the website.
Yeah, I could dance if I wanted to.
You could leave your friends behind.
But I'm not gonna.
If your friends had dance.
So anyway, dancejam.com, awesome dancing videos, MC Hammer.
So, Mormon Jesus aside, we decided to actually watch just
Mormon Jesus.
some Mormon Jesus.
Mormon Jesus.
Okay. But we actually watched some anime. Some of you were treated to watching us watch the anime.
On the Ustream.
Yes, which had to be interesting because you couldn't see what we were seeing. You could just see what we were saying.
Anyway.
We watched a new show and an old show. Yep. And one was pretty good, one was pretty bad.
I don't know. I sort of think that they were all both sort of bad, but at least one was funny in its badness. But I think just because it was old, both shows are very stereotypical, very predictable, very anime cliche.
But in a way,
but one was old and humorous, and one was new and painful.
I guess the cliches of older shows, while they are cliches, and it depends on what era and genre too, but the genre of shonen fighting show from the 90s as opposed to shonen fighting show from the 2000s, there's a big difference.
I don't see such a big difference.
All right, let me put it this way.
Not in the plot structure, at least.
But in the way the episodes come together and what cliches
you have to go to a
appear.
shonen fighting show from the 80s to get a different plot structure, like Fist of the North Star.
I guess maybe
or
it's
something.
more that this show, while it is a 90s show, harkens much more back to shows from the earlier 90s and the late 80s in terms of the cliches that it is using.
A little bit. But anyway, so the show, we'll talk about that show first, right?
Sure.
So
We should talk. Maybe we should talk about the show that's less good first. I don't know.
it's the order we watched them.
All right.
It doesn't matter. So we watch.
I kind of like this show.
Do you really?
I kind of do.
Would you watch another episode of it?
Yeah, I could see myself doing that.
Really? Because I would not watch another episode. But anyway.
I at least got to get to the episode with the. I got to find out what's up with the Maboroshi Mobu Tofu.
They got you. They got you with the old
Maboroshi.
They got
no
you.
Mobu Tofu.
They got you with the old formula.
The word Maboroshi.
Cliffhanger at the end of every episode. They roped you in. You're such a sucker. They suckered you in.
Is Takumi gonna win the race, Scott?
I know, right? They suckered you in with that old trick, and you know what? I know. At least I knew I was getting suckered in, and only did it once. Anyway, so. We watched Cooking Master Boy, which is a shonen fighting show about cooking.
Yep, a.k.a. Chuka Ichiban.
There's plenty of shows out there about cooking. I mean, that are very similar. I mean, this can't be that. I mean, I've never seen that show. What's that one? Nippon, the one about the bread.
Oh, yeah. I never saw it either, actually. People keep talking about it.
Yeah. Actually, the second, I think, closer for the show I watched that on YouTube. That was pretty awesome. but
Yeah, this is actually, it looks to me, I don't know, it feels like an earlier 90s show, but it's actually from like the late 90s, like 97, 98.
yeah, and there's a lot of similar things out there. I mean, Iron Walk Jan or whatever else you can come up with. But
Oh my God, there are 52 episodes.
you want to watch them all?
Nah.
Okay, there we
It's
go.
the end of
Okay,
that.
yeah. But Cooking Master Boy, it takes place in China.
During the warring cooking states period. Literally,
See, this is why it's funny.
it starts with this opener, and they're like, Chinese cuisine has spread throughout the world, and the cores of it, and it shows like Canton and Szechuan, and it's very serious and building up and showing the different regions of Japan and all this fancy cooking animation, all cell animated. And then it cuts to this giant panorama, and it explains that we are now in the period at the fall of the Manchu dynasty, in the like cooking warring states period. And the government is very intertwined with cooking, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's like an admiral or a general, because the subtitles are broken when we watched it, but we didn't need them to be working. All right, this show is pretty straightforward, and he basically orders this guy to go and to this restaurant and sort of take it over because the people at the restaurant aren't cooking well enough.
Basically, Sayonji from Utena walks in to this restaurant, and first of all, oh shit, everyone's like, oh no, it's him, and they back away. Comes into the restaurant, he's like, give me whatever you dare to serve me. It's kind of like Ratatouille in that way.
Yeah, it's like, give me something, I don't care what it is as long as it's good. They give him like the best stuff they got. It's no good.
So he proceeds to wreck the place.
Yup, and he's like, I'm in charge of this restaurant now, bitches.
I have the seal from General Lee. It is my restaurant now.
Then General Lee shows up. And General Lee is, first of all, by the way, while this is going on, the main character is not there. He's up on a mountain collecting mushrooms that are like the tastiest mushrooms from the growing on the side of a mountain that he had to climb,
They look like some pretty good mushrooms.
All right. Anyway, General Lee shows up and he's like, I think you misunderstood me. I was telling you, I didn't put my seal on that order yet. You have to prove that you're better than the people at this restaurant in order for me to put my seal on that order.
And that statement is backed up by this man's eyebrows.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. So he's like, oh, of course, I can beat these crappy cooks here. What do you want me to make you? He's like, fried rice.
So this guy, they spend a lot of time animating this cooking.
Yeah, it's like sometimes during the show, you'll get a still shot of like General Lee's face that's not moving while someone else talks, right? And that still frame will be there for a good 10, 20 seconds, right? But when someone's cooking, they animate the fuck out of it. Flying walks, like motion blur
Plus,
ladles.
This guy's story, it cuts to a flashback. We lost all our subtitles at this point. But basically, he takes off his eye patch and he's got this burned, scarred eye in hand. And he's like, you don't remember. You don't know. And then we get the flashback of him as a kid, but he's just as pissed off and sneering. And he's cooking and he's pissed off. And the mother is like, you shouldn't cook that way. You're going to hurt yourself. He's like, you're not the boss of me, Mom. And then he immediately burns his face off.
Yep. He's like sets his whole body on fire because he gets oil on himself, and it's a bad situation.
So
now he's
makes,
coming back to this restaurant to get his revenge.
This lobster, shrimp, crab, fried rice. And there's this scene where, he cooks it and it's all together and he gives it to Admiral Lee. And there's all this big presentation and Admiral Lee opens it and he takes a bite. And it cuts. It was almost a Gekiga moment. It cuts to his face, like a close-up. You know the close-up where you get from the edge of the nose to the edge of the face, and then you see the eye, and that's it. You get a close-up of one eye and a little bit of the mouth.
Yep.
And he closes his eyes, and he sits there for a second, and then he opens them
and this nuke goes off, and then the word delicious scrolls by,
and you get
in
this
golden letters.
Well, first you get this giant sea view, and then a tsunami coming in, and then behind the tsunami, a volcano explodes.
Yeah, they use video and audio because you can't get flavor vision, right? Which would be the ultimate for a cooking show, right? To just send the flavor into the viewer's mouth. If that ever was really, if I was the Food Network, I would put all my money into that, because if that existed, the Food Network would be the #1 channel and forever. People would just sit at home watching the Food Channel, just like tasting and smelling everything that these gourmet chefs cook.
No, then you have what is set up to be the best hack ever. The most, like, this would be...
You hack everyone's TVs to make it taste like shit?
What I was going to say very simply is one word. I was going to say poop.
Yep.
And leave it at that.
So anyway.
So, you know, the eyes close. He opens his eyes and like, yes, you will take over this restaurant. And the kid's like, and he eats it. And the same thing happens to him. Like, it's too good. It's too good.
And he made this was some awesome fried rice. He had lobsters and crabs and shrimps, but somehow he like got rid of the fishy flavor. So it like had all the seafood in it, but it didn't taste fishy. And it was like this ultimate awesome fried rice of, oh yes.
But then the kid is like, but wait a minute. And it shows you all these like it's very Samurai Jack.
We didn't have a subtitle, so we didn't know exactly what he was saying.
But remember in Samurai Jack when he closes his eyes and he listens, and bit by bit the scene like fills out around him as he hears all the things going on.
Yep.
It was like that with food, where you see the flavor. He's like, yes, there's the crab, and there's the shrimp, and there's the rice. But wait a minute. Cilantro.
Was it cilantro? I think it might have been cilantro.
That's my guess.
It could have been.
He covered it up with cilantro. And as soon as he says that, the Admiral Lee has that, shonen where there's like the red line goes through his eyes.
We didn't know exactly what it was, but there was a picture of a green herb on the screen, and obviously there was some sort of suggestion that there was not something imperfect about this incredibly delicious fried rice.
Yes, and Admiral Lee is stern but fair.
Yep.
You can...
So he was like, okay, basically what happens is the kid is now going to make fried rice to beat this dude's fried rice, right? Now, I thought the kid was going to use the amazing mushrooms he got from the side of the mountain.
But no, that's episode 2. He's probably going to use that in the Maboroshi no Mobu Tofu.
Possibly. But, so he goes to make the main character goes to make some fried rice. So what does he do? Of course... As in all the cooking shows,
it's ratatouille.
The really perfect simple dish always beats the complicated fancy gourmet dish. I mean, you see this happen in that comic I read a while ago, wonton soup, right? That's what happens, So he's gonna make the really simple dish really well, and it's gonna beat out the gourmet dish.
He just makes egg fried rice.
But
it's the recipe what his mom taught him. And
yep, the mom who I think is the same person that was involved with the burning of the angry guy.
Yep. Because he came back to get his revenge.
And mom is dead now because they have a picture of mom they're holding on to. So I think mom's dead now. Anyway. So he makes fried rice, and with just egg and fried rice and some soy and whatever.
Now, when they bring this out, like they bring out the dish, and Admiral Lee's
when they brought out the first dish, right, it was covered, and they lifted the cover, and it's like perfectly symmetrical, amazing steam came out, right? Ooh. But when the kid's golden fried rice comes out that he made with just egg.
It's like this exploding golden pillar of light that shoots into the sky.
Yeah. And then the rice itself looks like gold flakes. It doesn't look like rice.
And Admiral Lee is like, it is golden fried rice.
Yeah, but the other guy's like, don't be fooled by the way it looks. It's just, he made it all golden with, egg. It's not really that great. It's just real simple golden fried rice.
Before.
You can't compare it with my fancy seafood fried rice.
When he ate the other guy's dish, right? And he closes his eye and bites it. I was hoping for the Gekiga moment, because the Gekiga moment is the same thing that happens in Giant Robo, where you have the stoic man hero standing there, and he has his eyes closed, and then he does something, and the tear comes out of the eye from the close-up.
Yeah,
you didn't get that. I didn't expect that from this show. He bites into the golden rice, and the Gekiga tear comes out.
That was epic.
It was so...
It was only epic because we called it. But, pretty much the rice was not only delicious, but it brought back all his memories. So the nostalgic, awesome power of the simple, perfect golden fried rice brought out the man tier and won over the general to the side of the main character.
About anytime you get the close-up of the one eye and then the tears come down. That's a good... It has to be, the very stoic face, the eyes close, moment of realization, single tear.
Yep.
Very Crying Freeman.
Crying Freeman had freaking rivers from both eyes. He didn't have...
Yeah. But I haven't read Crying Crying Freeman. There's got to be at least one shot where he closes his eye and like the tears begin. There's gotta be.
It's usually he kills someone and then they cut back to his face and there's like rivers, and that's usually how it goes. Anyway, Crying Freeman.
Of course, this doesn't resolve it, and Admiral Lee's like, well, blah, 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 challenge. We had no subtitles at this point, but what I gathered was that they are now going to have to cook m.o.v.e. tofu, and the kid has this, like... It was, I guess I'm not used to seeing
First, the kid's like, yeah, I'm awesome at tofu. Yeah.
But I watched so much new anime, I forgot about, I guess, the old style of chibi. Like, old anime used to go to chibi in a certain kind of way. And new anime do it in this totally different way, for the most part. But this was an old school, like, chibi.
He's like, yeah, I can make the tofu, yes.
And then Admiral Lee is like, no, you're not just making m.o.v.e. tofu. And basically, I heard, I don't understand much Japanese. Blah, 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 Maboroshi no m.o.v.e. tofu. Blah,
shit.
blah, blah, blah. And I was like, did he say Maboroshi?
So that's dream, right? So it's like the dream tofu?
Or mystery?
I don't know.
I'll look it up again. It's a word that I hear a lot in anime.
I'm pretty sure it's dream or something. But it's like, it has like
I think
5 or 6
mysterious, to be honest.
Mysterious tofu? I don't know. But it has like 5 or 6 flavors or 7 flavors or something. And there were like 7 factors by which he would judge the tofu. And it's like, oh my God, like hotness and So that's probably what the next episode is going to be, is the tofu battle. And somehow he's going to have a lot of struggles, but then he's going to pull it off in the end by some miracle. He's going to make the great tofu.
Illusion, fantasy, mirage.
Yeah. Anyway.
Much better. Oh, never mind. I found a translation that was actually wrong. So never mind that.
All right. So yeah, that's Cooking Master Boy. If you want to watch one of those, I mean, it's a stereotypical shonen fighting cooking show. It's just like all the other ones.
It's fun. You know what it is? It is a show that if you run an anime club, you show the first episode of this at your club. And everyone goes, oh my God, and yells during it. Or you get all your friends over and you watch it. Don't watch it by yourself.
Yeah, it's not a quality show, but, it's a formula show, but it executes the formula rather well. And if you're an anime fan, there is a lot of humor to be extracted from it.
It also, it gave me an enjoyment. This is definitely a nostalgic enjoyment in the same way that Birdie the Mighty Decode did, that it kind of brought me back into anime that I liked. Not so much because it was better necessarily, but because I watched it when I was the right age to watch it.
Sort of like the same feeling you get when you eat golden fried rice.
Yeah, something like that. So the next
it's
time...
It's not actually that as great as the seafood fried rice.
The next time you see me
but your
watching,
memories of it are cause it to bring out the power.
So if I ever watch the new like Bubblegum Crisis remake, whatever, I'll have to close my eyes and shed that single tear.
Yeah, right.
So then we watched generic show.
Chrome-shelled Regios.
It's exactly like every other generic crappy anime.
This is the most generic anime I've ever seen. It pretty much has every generic anime thing that you could have.
Like it was painful. I don't even know. So, well, it stood out a little bit. It starts, right? And typically, some sort of action scene going on, and then they cut to someone who's going to be one of the main characters, like cowering. You see, like 10 anime start that way. Like fighting going on, main character who's actually badass but not badass yet, and badassness is hidden, and they're cowering, and they're gonna be afraid.
Right. So you've got this bus, I guess, and it's being attacked by a big bug monster.
Filth monsters.
All right, it's a bug. It's like Starship Troopers,
It's a filth
right?
monster. They tell
and
us
then
often.
You see this big lineup of like mystical, powerful people, and there's like a whole bunch of them. And
there are like 20 of them.
There's basically one for every single stereotype you can find. Dude with a sword, dude with monofilament wire, dude with psychic powers, dude with mystical spiritual powers.
Then there's just Gambit.
Dude with fucking guns. dude in a robot suit. You got every single stereotypical combat anime character
and like 10 of these
lined up.
people don't even do anything.
Yeah, like only 3 or 4 of them are doing anything, and they fight the bug monster. Oh,
and it's all full of proper noun gobbledygook. It's do the blah on the blah, but watch out for the blah. We'll have to beat him by using blah and blah together. But such a thing I don't know. Well, what if we blind? Let's do it.
Don't use your full power. Oh, but now I have to use my full power.
Well, as you know, it is an insult in Japan to use your full power at any moment other than the last possible second.
I know, right?
I learned that from Get Backers.
Yeah.
More so than anything else, I think.
Yeah, anyway. So it starts out there, but then it cuts away from that to this completely unrelated school, military school that's also a regular school.
Well, it's basically, all right, it's a high school that's run by students a la Utena, and I'm pretty sure, I gotta look it up, but I'm pretty sure the headmaster, who is actually just like a senior in the school.
Who's Takahito Koyasu?
Yes, I'm like 99% sure that is Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
AKA Takahashi Ryosuke, AKA every cool person in every Budmint. Hotohari.
People know that we love Takahito Koyasu.
Takahito Koyasu is second only to Akira Kamiya in my eyes.
I don't know. There's also Toshite, that guy.
Oh, I forget that guy's name, but I recognize him.
If you told me his name, it's like it's a name that I recognize, but I can't just recall it from nothing.
Because that guy's also.
But if you told me the name, if you walked up to me on the street and said who is and said the name, I would say that's the guy who is Chio-chan's dad.
Yep,
and
we didn't recognize who he was until we were watching Bakano, and that guy's like, Carol Doshite, and we're like, oh, it's him. It has to be.
Yeah.
That guy can say Doshite really
well.
I
can't come up with his name, but if you give me the name, I can tell you who it is. Anyway.
I'll just start calling him Carol Doshite.
Doshite. Anyway.
But this guy he's like a toga, I guess, and he runs the school because it's a student-run school, and there's military people and non-military people, and there's all this high school bullshit, and then some people fight.
Yeah, of course, the guy who isn't obviously the most powerful, really is the most powerful, but he doesn't know it yet, and he joins the lowest of the lowest ranks in the school, by chance. And of course, that's gonna, the lowest of the lows are gonna be awesome now. And there's also drama because the quiet sort of mystical mystery girl is also in that same squadron, and she's the sister of the headmaster guy. So it's typical, the scrappy low end of the totem pole is gonna beat out the high and mighty heads of the totem pole who are so sure of themselves and already powerful. And
at this point, they've introduced so many characters that I had no idea.
I only recognized a few of them. Really,
I recognized the short, quiet, mystical girl with the cherry blossoms.
The quiet, mystical girl, the head of the lowest end squadron, the 17th squadron. That girl,
the headmaster guy,
and the the new guy who's all powerful secretly. But that's pretty much it. All the other characters are nothing.
Has the exact same face and haircut as the guy from Kaze no Yojimbo, which was an okay show that suffered from. I don't know. I got to make up a quick syndrome name for this, but the show where you have a main character who's basically invincible and all powerful and badass and just kicks everybody's ass all the time in every episode.
You mean every show?
Not every show.
Almost every show.
Trigun starts like that, but then it's not like that anymore.
A lot of shows are like that.
But it looks like the same person, as far as I can tell. I got to see who the character designer was for this.
Yeah.
But then again, it might just be generic anime character.
So basically, that plot continues a bunch, and of course, the low powerful guy joins the lowest end group, and they're.
But then they cut back to the fight again, which, by the way, during the whole
fight
thing,
from the beginning of the episode,
they're playing Sandstorm-esque techno.
Oh yeah, that's right. During the fighting scene at the very beginning of the show. Where they have the bug monster and everything that's completely unrelated to this school so far. It's obviously going to be related to the school later.
It just sounds like Darude is playing in the background the whole time.
It's like this super hyper techno that's actually kind of good, but also kind of not so good. Then at the school, there's no techno. Then after they're done with the school, they cut back to fighting the bug monster. Has no connection to the school yet. Whatsoever.
And then they introduce a million weird mysteries, and then they end the episode.
That's it. They bunch of mysteries. Because they defeat the bug monster.
There are 10 or 15 super powered people fighting this bug monster. Oh, and by the way, in the school, when I said some guys were fighting, They all had superpowers.
Yeah, everyone's got some sort of superpower.
Everyone has superpowers in this show, as far as I can
One
tell.
guy has a big whip, one guy has an extending stick, one person can shoot flower petals.
When I say big whip, it is like 200 feet long.
Yeah, it's real long.
But then during all this, they keep cutting back to this line of even more superpowered people who are standing there commenting on the fighting. And then they act like maybe it's not a fight really, but like a contest.
Or a test.
And then I lost like all track of what was going on in the show.
Yeah, I mean, you had the two completely separate, unrelated things going on. You had the school plot, which is so generic, predictable, had the same characters as every other stupid anime. Everything that happened was totally predictable, saw it coming a million miles away. The only interesting thing about it was Takahito Koyasu's voice, right? And then you had the separate plot of fighting a big bug monster and being
Is it not him? All right, I'm looking into this. It might not have been him. There might be a sound alike. Oh, there he is. Never mind.
Okay. And then completely detached, at least in the first episode, from the school plot.
Yeah, that's him.
And it was just, unless you really, really like stereotypical, generic, right down the middle, follow the formula, action and school
You know what, though?
anime.
Even if you like that, watch one of the better ones. This one is like, at least watch like the best
this
of
is
those.
so plain. It's like this is like white bread. It's like
White. It's Wonder Bread.
This is fucking Wonder Bread, this show. Totally predictable, nothing new, nothing exciting, exactly what you'd expect, seen it a million times before. Not good. At least, the Cooking Master Boy was sort of like wheat bread. It's like familiar, seen it before, but it has a flavor. This, flavorless. No good.
So the director, I was just poking around at what the guy who directed this monstrosity generic show did. Because usually when we see a show like this, I'll look at the director and it'll be like, generic guy, what did a bunch of generic stuff. Granted, the person who did the original concept for Cooking Boy did 2 manga, one of which is called Tenshi no Fry Pan. I am all about that.
Tenshi no Fry Pan. That's
Tenshi no
that's,
Fry Pan.
that's a lot better than a lot of the other cooking show names out there. I mean, even like Iron Wok Jan doesn't compare to Tenshi no Fry Pan.
But Ichiro Kawasaki directed this monstrosity, and he also did the Chrono Trigger OAV, which I heard was not good.
I heard it was terrible.
Licensed by Royalty, which was not good.
That show, I thought that show might have been...
That show had so much potential.
Well, I mean, it didn't...
the cover of the first DVD had a lot of potential.
That's correct. The cover art on the DVD had potential.
I saw that and I thought, is this going to be another Read or Die?
No, sorry, bad show.
No. He was the assistant director for Please Save My Earth, which is weird because that show was like, I don't know, weird. And I don't want to say good, but I kind of liked it because it was weird.
Yeah. I guess it's good that this show exists, and that I'll remember it because usually, you think of all these stereotypical anime things, right? Okay, we're saying that chrome-shelled Regios is stereotypical and white bread, right? And cliche, which means that the things it's doing have been done a million times before, right? What show has done these things before? What name the show?
I couldn't tell you.
Right, so now we have the show. When we find the cliche things, we can say chrome-shelled Regios, that's the cliche. That's the show that's the cliches.
Yeah. But there are so many shows and I forget the names. I mean, what was that show we watched where it was almost the same?
I don't remember.
We watched shows that were almost the exact same goddamn show.
We have.
Like, it'd be tough to tell them apart. Like, or I remember Coyote Ragtime Show.
That was, but that had something to it.
It had the fact that like 11 maids parachuted in from the sky.
Oh yeah, that
but
one.
But before that point, it had nothing.
Oh, that's right. All right, Coyote Ragtime Show. You said Coyote Ragtime Show, but I thought about Cazador de la Bruja.
Oh, which was just Noir 3?
Exactly.
Just as bad?
Yeah, no. But yeah, Coyote Ragtime Show was stereotypical, but in a different way. It had more going on than Chrome-shelled Regios.
But what this guy did do that's interesting, I got to see which episodes those were, but he directed 4 episodes in Gitsack Second Gig.
He actually directed 4 the episodes?
He was the episode director for 4 episodes.
Yeah, but episode director is not the same as director.
But that means that we got to watch those episodes and see if there's any of him in them.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, plus, you can't give the director all the credit either. I mean, who wrote this? Was it based on a manga? Was it based on a book?
It was based on a light novel, as far as I can tell.
Who wrote the light novel?
I don't know. I didn't do any research. I'm digging through the Anime News Network right now.
Yeah, that's how it is. There's no reason. People can look on the Anime News Network themselves. We don't need to
Design work,
just
music,
read. We don't need to
set
read the
design.
Anime News Network encyclopedia to people.
Yeah, I'm poking.
All you need to know is that chrome-shelled Regios do not watch unless you really love, like, the most stereotypical things about anime.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geeknights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via audio. Just click the link that says Send Me an Audio on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.